Alright, back again. I think it was like 3 minutes from the last time I recorded. But, yeah, I guess let's get right into it. I did talk about doing some stuff that's separate from records, and so this is something I literally just got in the mail tonight from a Black Friday sale. And that is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On 4K Blu-ray from A24, and also get it the Marcel the Shell with Shoes On figurine. I'll pop this guy out for now. We can go through this in a little bit, but there he is. Maybe this can be my cultural artifact that's in the background of my videos now. But yeah, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On came out in 2022. I think it hit the festival circuit in 2021, which is when A24 picked it up. I say A24, not A24. I don't really care. Directed by Dean Fleischer Camp, and Jenny Slate is the voice of Marcel. If you don't know who Jenny Slate is, probably her most notable role that a lot of people know her for is as Mona Lisa Saperstein in Parks and Rec, where she was the sister to John Ralphio, played by Ben Schwartz. If you haven't watched Parks and Rec, I would recommend it. I think it still holds up. But yeah, this is the 4K version for all the nerds. This has Dolby Atmos, but it doesn't have HDR 10 or 10 Plus or Dolby Vision. I don't really care. There's a stop motion little shell. I'm not watching this to compare it to like Dune Part 2. But comes with making of featurette, original shorts, which, if you don't know, Marcel the Shell was actually a series of videos that were on YouTube in the 2010s, made by Dean Fleischer Camp and Jenny Slate, and we'll talk a bit more about that later. But those are included here. Some filmmaker commentary with additionally with Nick Paley. I'm trying to remember exactly his role in the film. He might have been a producer. I can't remember. We'll see when I open the book. Storyboard excerpts, character artwork, animation brief excerpts, and behind-the-scenes photography. And if you don't know what this movie is I think a lot of people, when they saw the trailers, were like, this looks really weird, especially if they didn't know the shorts. But yeah, this movie is Marcel is an adorable 1-inch tall shell who ekes out a colorful existence with his grandmother Connie and their pet Lint Allen. Once part of a sprawling community of shells, they now live alone as the sole survivors of a mysterious tragedy. But when a documentary filmmaker discovers them amongst the clutter of his Airbnb, the short film he posts online brings Marcel millions of passionate fans, as well as unprecedented dangers and a new hope at finding his long-lost family. A beloved character gets his big screen debut in this hilarious and heartwarming story about finding connection in the smallest corners. That's Marcel. That's Connie. Yeah, let's open it up. The movie. This is from when he watches the stuff on YouTube. He sits on a piece of cotton and eats popcorn. So, this is the disc. Obviously, it's supposed to line up with him. He steps in honey so that he can climb up the walls and get where he needs to go. Yeah, really love that concept. And really anything that takes place with him in the bathroom is also really funny. But I love, right? I don't know. A24 with a lot of their stuff it comes with specials. I mean, sometimes it's just like postcards, but I love when they do these books. Sometimes you buy these Blu-rays. It's a new one, 30, $40, and it's just the disc, and there's like nothing inside, and I think it's insane. I love these complimentary books, print things, even yeah, even when it is just postcards with a thing or photos or I think I have a copy of Interstellar that comes with like a strip of the film. You know, I love stuff like that, and it makes it that much cooler. This does count for the channel because he is standing on a tone arm, and yeah, that was a bad joke. Here we go. Marcel the Shell with shoes on. It's the table of contents here. What's on the discs? So we have some storyboard excerpts. If you don't know what a storyboard is, it's kind of like it's like drawing out what you want shots to look like, scenes to look like. So here, this looks like it's the very first scene. Um, you can see there's nothing there, and then the tennis ball shows up. When you watch the movie, that's how the movie starts. Is he kind of gets around the house in a tennis ball that he's cut open that he can walk around inside of. That he calls the Rover. This is Marcel outside. These look like some initial sketches of Connie. This is him climbing up with the honey. Him showing off his little house where he keeps his raisins, craisins, and almonds and things. This is when you find out that he took an inhaler from a previous person who stayed at the Airbnb because he didn't know what it was. I won't talk about everything because I don't want to spoil what happens in the movie, but yeah, these storyboards are cool. Um, I will say this was my favorite movie of 2022. So having all this extra stuff I really love. So I'm not going to read all of these, but they're talking here about their approach to animating Marcel and what makes it work the way it does. One of my favorite parts of this is also they talk about the documentary approach, right? It's a film, it's a feature film, but it's presented as like a documentary of what's happening. Um, Minimalism, yeah, keep things pretty simple. Visual effects. Um, they do find a lot of cool stuff to do practically. But yes, this range of motion, talking about even just the placement of his feet and how it plays into animating the character, making it seem more playful. Um, yeah, very cool to see all the character art. So there are a lot of characters that you don't really meet in the film, or really like they don't talk or anything like that. Like the peanut, the acorn, these are all just kind of people that are part of his family that have been missing. Um, but these character designs are really funny. This candle with shoes, these are cool trainers. Um, Message in a bottle with barnacles, a dead house plant, a broken garden gnome that's upside down. Um, yeah, lots of cool stuff in here. GI Joe torso. Somebody's inside of it. Prescription bottle with wig. The Matchbox car. Funny, very cute. Behind the scenes photography. Always love this stuff. Also, this is printed on really nice paper. It feels good. I like that it's not glossy. It's a matte finish, which is nice. This is the director. That's the director and Jenny Slate. Maybe there's a better picture of Jenny somewhere. There's her here. Um, that's her again there. Um, art department. The spiders from one scene. There's a funny plot line that involves 60 minutes. The show's 60 minutes in the movie. That was really funny, the way that they had that play out. Um, yeah, very cool. I think this is the end. Oh, here we go. The credits. We can find out who. So Nick Paley looks like he's the editor, which obviously kind of had his work cut out with him. This is a very interesting. It's a lot of stop motion inside of real live action stuff. So yeah. Also, I love the soundtrack. I actually need to buy the record because I really loved the music. I don't know anything else Disaster Piece has done, which is also a really cool name. But the music in this was really cool. And honestly, like, very emotional, very moving. Um, Nick Paley also helped with the story and the screenplay. So, and there's just credits for who helped put this book together, which I'm very grateful for. Let me put this back. But like I said, this was one of my favorite movie. Actually, it was my favorite movie of 2022. Followed very closely by a movie called The Northman by Robert Eggers, um, which is funny because they're polar opposites. But I really love this. It's obviously very wholesome. But I'm pretty sure it's rated PG. Yeah. So this is a movie you can show a 5-year-old, but you could show this to someone who's 50, and they'll be crying their eyes out. I think there's something in this for everybody, literally everybody. Um, it breaks down a lot of things that everybody goes through in ways that, yes, can make sense to a child, but are uh, discussed in such a profound and simple way that it can really help you reshape how you approach certain things. For example, there's a scene between Marcel and his grandmother, Connie, when he's scared to do something because he's already been scared he lost his family, doesn't know where they went, all this sort of stuff. And he's scared of change because he doesn't want to get hurt again or to lose something again. Um, and basically, in just a really simple way, the grandmother's like, hey, don't worry about that. And he's like, oh, well, I'm scared things will change. And she basically just says, like, yeah, they will. And that's the scene. And it's broken down so simply in a way that I think, as humans, we do resist change, especially when it comes to things that can be hurtful or painful. But it is just a part of life, and accepting those things as they come, um, breaking it down to that level in a way that a child can understand it, sometimes almost is what we need instead of overcomplicating it and overthinking it. And so this has a lot of concepts like that, um, that at least for me, like, really spoke to me. Especially the ending. Absolutely love the ending. It ends on just this open, hopeful, I don't know, like, I'm connected to the universe and there's purpose in everything. And I don't know, I really love how inspired I feel after I watch this. And so that's why it's my favorite movie of 2022. And really one of my favorite movies of all time. I could watch this over and over and never get tired of it. I think it's hilarious. I think It's sad. I think it's cute. I think it's artistically impressive. Um, and I think that's because of the chemistry between Dean and Jenny. And the crazy part is they actually were married at one point or together. I can't remember. Basically, in the movie, Dean, who's the director, is also the guy that Marcel interacts with. Um, that's staying at the Airbnb and making the documentary about him. And he's talking about how he recently split up with a partner, I think a longtime partner. Um, and he's having these conversations with his ex partner. Like they're talking to each other. And I feel like I've read a interview somewhere that there's a certain scene where he's interviewing Marcel, and Marcel's like, I don't think I can keep talking or whatever. And that was actually like a real, like that was Jenny Slate still talking in the Marcel voice, but like that she actually was like too much for her. Um, and I think that's why this movie succeeds emotionally. It's because it is so raw and a lot of wearing the heart on the sleeve from everybody involved. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think the original shorts were made when they were living together, and then they separated, but then they decided to make this feature, and so there's a lot um, behind the scenes, um, that plays into why this delivers on a level that is really hard to replicate or to artificially produce. Um, and that is why I love Marcel the Shell with shoes on and this little metal figurine from A24. This is incredibly heavy for the size. I'm pretty sure it's like all metal, totally steel. Um, yeah, this will be on my desk. And I will say this is the better movie of 2022 by A24 with googly eyes. Uh, I'm not a hater, but I think it's been 2 years since Everything Everywhere All at Once came out, and we don't talk about it the way that they talked about it at the Oscars. So I don't know what to say, man. Um, no hate, no hate. It was a cool time. It wasn't my thing. Um, yeah, and then it just comes with these funny care instructions. When you are finished reading these instructions, you may discard them or fold them in half to create a little roof for Marcel. Because what if it rains? And you can make a little house. So it's cute. It comes in this. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this would be a functioning matchbox. The texture here, you could light a match off of this, and they give you space to put little accessories that Marcel would carry around with him. I guess I'll leave them out. Um, yeah, really love this movie. Really love what Dean and Jenny were able to create, and the rest of the team that went into making this happen. Um, Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Marcel right here. Yeah, watch this movie if you can. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix for free if you have a subscription, obviously. If you can buy it, buy it. Again, it's gonna look 1,000 times better even on a standard Blu-ray than it will on streaming. And you get to support more art like this. I don't want to use quotes in art. It is art. It's fun. It's a fun project, and it's a really moving piece of cinema. Oh, no, I don't want to get oil on this. Yeah, really great movie. And the first of many that I will talk about on this channel, but I figured this was a fun one to start with because I had this little guy to accompany it. So I think that's it for me for now. And I will catch you guys in the next one.